Louisville, Kentucky, in front of Mitch McConnell's house, MoveOn.org, 5th anniversary of the Iraq War, protest in front of his house.
This story is from Judith in California. Her son served in Iraq. Judith says, "My son had 3 tours of Iraq during his 4 years with the U.S. Air Force. During that time, I suffered severe anxiety and depression and was considering suicide if he did not return alive because I played a part in supporting the choice to go into the military. I thank God every day that he is home now and safe. However, he is having a hard time finding a job now that the economy is turning into recession. He has lost a spark of trust in himself and feels directionless and unsupported by the nation that he served. Benefits for returning vets in California is basically the same as anybody else. When that runs out, he is just like anybody else. We could use resources to take care of our veterans with increased psychological support and health benefits. We should also increase funding for our schools so that every child has a variety of options after high school."
This story is from Charity in Ohio. Her husband served in Iraq. Charity says, "My husband has been sent to Iraq twice in the last 5 years. Meanwhile, here at home, I have been forced to work full-time in his absence while trying to raise our 2 young children. We own a house in Ohio, and my husband has now been stationed in Virginia. He has been there for 6 months, and we have not been able to join him because our economy is so bad that we cannot sell our house and we cannot afford to pay for it to be empty. I believe that when my family is struggling due to these economic impacts, while my husband is defending our country, is a real problem."
I'm Jim Webb. I'm the event coordinator with MoveOn for the protest against Mitch McConnell and the war here today. And the main focus of this gathering here was to give honor to the vets that have died in the war and been injured, to address the fact that the war has caused economic disruption here at home, and to continue organizing and to eventually, hopefully, stop the war.
Hi, my name is Laurie Wolberton. We're standing out here in front of Mitch McConnell's house, and this is Brian Smith. Brian, tell me what you're doing here today.
That's a very good question, Lori. I'm here today, like we've been out here many days, many hours in front of Mitch McConnell's house to let him know that we do not agree with his positions on the war. Mitch McConnell's been in lockstep with the Bush administration from day one, and he continues it to this day. Just today, he was speaking on the Senate floor about increasing funding for the troops, about continuing this war, and basically telling everyone who's against the war that we're wrong and he's right.
Anything else?
I have a prepared statement I'd like to read. Actually, I was asked to give this earlier, and I did, and since Jim wasn't here, I was asked to repeat it. And essentially, this is just a commentary on the 5 years in Iraq and the beginning of 6 years of war. Who would have thought 5 years ago that we would be gathered here today? Who could have imagined that we'd be facing yet another year of a long national nightmare? And who could have predicted that we'd be entering the 6th year of this reckless, endless war in Iraq? Certainly not our leaders. Our leaders assured us that this war would be swift. Our leaders promised us this war would be decisive. And our leaders guaranteed us nothing less than clear and total victory. Now, 5 years later, we're compelled to ask, is this what victory looks like? We're closing in on the gruesome milestone of our 4,000th soldier to die in Iraq. Tens of thousands of American troops have been wounded, both physically and mentally. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqi civilians have been killed or driven from their homes. Our troops are caught in the middle of an ancient religious civil war, and our sanctioned Iraqi government is mired in sectarian grudges and violence and cannot even agree on the most basic principles of governance. I did not come here to run down the laundry list of the lies, deceptions, missteps, and outrages that have brought us to this sorry date. And I certainly will not dignify those that promote and prolong this war by mentioning them in the same breath as the true heroes of this conflict. I am here today to honor the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who are currently fighting and dying in Iraq right at this very moment. I am here in honor of their families whose sacrifices are multiplied by each additional day they spend away from their loved ones. And I am here in honor of the veterans of this conflict who served with honor and returned to a country that is indifferent to their plight and unwilling to provide them the care and the benefits that they have earned. I am here for no other reason than to remind everyone present of the tremendous toll that this war is exacting on the human beings who are swept up in the swift and inexorable tide of historical events that are well beyond their control. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.